Get your hands off me.
Look at what you've done.
It's glorious, isn't it?
With over 131,000 followers, Sweetbaby Inc. is finally being exposed for its damage on the video game industry, and this is to be expected after the many flops that have come out associated with this consultancy firm. If you don't know anything about Sweetbaby Inc., they consult many video game studios on the overall story structure, narrative design, and what many people see as social, political, progressive talking points that have been inserted in many video games. And I think that is the anger that is growing out and the frustration with a lot of video game players, where they're seeing some character arcs and character stories altered and changed to favor some current year modern day social political talking point, and people are frustrated with that. They just want to play their fantasy games and actually enjoy good gameplay, but that is being taken away because many of these AAA companies have to march and follow these sort of political guidelines that are being forced upon them, whether it's by investment banks or social progressive political action committees. And I think that's where this anger is boiling over and going all the way directly at Sweetbaby Inc. Even though they don't hold sole responsibility for these effects in the video game industry, they're an easy target to point out because what they do is being seen clearly by all the video game players out there. And that's why this curator, Sweetbaby Inc. Detected, is gaining ground and getting infamous within the industry itself. And I know a lot of people are exposing many parts of Sweetbaby Inc. because of it now, because their reaction is showing their overall position and why their influence is a detriment to the video game industry. You can see that where this boycott is getting under the skin of a lot of these developers. One of the consultants, part of Sweetbaby Inc., called for the overall banning of the person that started the Steam curator. And of course, they went aggressive against this person, almost becoming a little bit racist towards them. You can see this with one of the firm's consultants, one named Maya Kramer, who came out with a slew of tweets that were berating and just denigrating different groups of people, specifically white males, specifically people against Palestine. I won't say their name directly, but they have an aggressive animosity against people within these groups. And when you look at some of their tweets and see some of their discussions, you can just see it. It says, "Pay me to shoot down your white male lead game ideas." This is Maya Kramer, who works at Sweetbaby Inc. So this is a confirmed employee that is working at Sweetbaby Inc. Taking these aggressive stances against particular groups of people. I usually get grossed out when straight white rich people kiss, but even I think those two are pretty cute. This is probably in relation to some sort of movie scene or video game scene. And here's another one right here. I had a nightmare that was a white male gamer. But this is the overall perspective that we're seeing within Sweetbaby Inc., where there's aggressive hatred for anyone that is not a victim or marginalized. And this is their words. The superior groups in their minds are the victims and marginalized, and anyone other than that is privileged and needs to be marginalized and victimized. And it's kind of an aggressive take, especially when you look at the UN and Geneva Convention and the guidelines for genocidal thinking. One of those guidelines out of the 4 is reducing one person into a non-human entity. And I think this is the case with a lot of the things that you hear from Sweetbaby Inc. and these people from that ilk, where they're trying to dehumanize one group of people and they're trying to say they are in the right for doing that. And I think you see that often with these people that have these social progressive goals and ideals, where they're in line with some of the warnings of genocidal thinking within the UN convention itself. And this is an idea I just saw because I was looking at that recently, but it just makes me think a lot of these people have this psychotic thinking that is out there to dehumanize and denigrate other groups of people while seeing themselves as a more pure form of that person. And I think them having this ideology after being within a group that has been suffering from attacks from people with this sort of ideology is just the cyclical nature that we're seeing in society, where the once victimized and marginalized become the bully and the racist. And I think this is the thing that we're seeing in the video game industry in a small microcosm, where we see these people getting power and they're just flaunting it and destroying things, and see the other people complaining about it as a monster that needs to be shut up and contained. And that's why we're seeing these attacks, why people were attacking the Steam curator. This particular person here, Chris Kendrick, who try to get this banned, try to dox the person that started the Steam curator, try to get them actually banned from X and Steam in general, where you can't even play games anymore. And the opposite happened. This person was limited on X and had to be pushed out to Blue Sky Social, and after that they have a tirade against all the people that kicked them off, saying they're deranged, racist lunatics that need to be stopped in silence. And this is their perspective on the situation. They don't see anything wrong with what they did. What they did was right because they are the right person. The other people are not the right people, and you already see that genocidal thinking developing in these people, where every action they do is right because they are the right people to do it and you are the wrong person to do it. And I think that thinking is extremely dangerous, and it's developing in people that clearly can't see that thought process growing in their own mind. And that's why I point out the Geneva Convention and its thoughts on genocidal thinking and philosophy, where there's 4 tenets around it, and the number one of them is dehumanizing the target and rationalizing your own personal actions. And I think that we see that often with people within this political, social, progressive thought process, where they have to rationalize things they would scream about if someone did to them. If you try to ban them, erase their account, try to get people to attack you and reveal your identity and home address, people would say you're crazy. But in their mind, them doing it to you is not crazy. And in her mind, she goes to Blue Sky Social and she says these people are evil. They think we're terrible people. No, they're the evil ones. They think we're being funded by BlackRock and receiving ESG funding. They're not receiving the ESG funding. The AAA development studios are receiving the ESG funding, and they're using that money to hire you to bring in your influence into the game industry, and that's how you get paid, basically. They don't even understand finance and capitalism or anything related to investment structures of these companies, so I don't expect her to understand the situation. She thinks it's all conspiracy theory stuff because she has no understanding of money and capital at all, and I expect that from a person that is part of Sweetbaby Inc. that is not the CEO. The CEO knows that's where the money is coming from, but this lower level person, they don't know. They think it's just, oh, they're just doing it because they like us. And no, they're doing it because it's an investment strategy for these AAA companies, and that's why people are attacking Sweetbaby Inc. because we see the investment strategy that's forcing people like you to get employed. They don't understand that, and I think we as the video game players, I think a large majority of us understand that is the structure that is upholding these consultancy firms, not only Sweetbaby Inc., but multiple other ones that are influencing the video game industry. And Sweetbaby Inc. is a big representative of that, and the video game players attacking them is a way to attack the entire structure. And I think this is the fact that they don't understand. I think that is the frustrating thing for these people. Let me read some of her Blue Sky Social tweets, and let's see the mind of a Sweetbaby Inc. employee. And when they have that many open spaces to play and they can create their own boogeyman, they think we're actively making games worse when studios are the ones making the choices they balk at. The nature of our work is often just looking at things. And this is her just not understanding why they're being chosen. She thinks the AAA companies are just spending the money because they see them as an essential part of the process. And I say, no, that's not the case. They have incentives to actually hire you. If they hire you, they get a higher social credit rating for ESG, and that ESG money comes into that AAA company regardless if they fail with this game. And I think that is the main thing that people are noticing and understanding. And I think she goes into a deeper struggle where she attacks similar groups of people that I mentioned before, that the other consultancy employee for Sweetbaby Inc., where she says, I don't know, man, this ish was fine after the first day, but the Zionists from earlier this week wore me down and I'm entering a place. And this is kind of a position where you see them, they truly dislike people that fight against Palestine, and that's how I would describe it. And that growing with the multiple tweets from these individuals, where there's an animosity that is apparent and is kind of shocking. And this is the other consultant, and they have their own particular mindset that is shared incessantly, where she says, looking around the mixer last night, put into perspective just how white and male our dev scene really is. It really is white and male, and this is them having that perspective. You need to get rid of all the white people for some particular reason, not actually becoming a great developer or producer. We just need to get rid of all the people, even if they are talented. We need to get rid of them and make terrible games. Essentially, that is the process. As long as the terrible games are made by people that look like me, that doesn't matter. And this is back to that socialist communist perspective, where it doesn't matter the quality, it just matters how the people who make it look like, rather than the quality of the product itself. And it's just leads to a disaster for any economic thinking civilization or group or industry. And I think that's the biggest problem that we have with Sweetbaby Inc., that they don't care about quality of games. If they cared about quality of games and they still had their social progressive thoughts, they would make something like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 was something that was social and progressive, but they made a good game within it, even if you wanted to complain about all the rainbow activity. But it doesn't matter, the game was good, so people still played it. And I think that is the problem with gamers and Sweetbaby Inc. They don't care about video games for the most part. And of course, the AAA titles and developers, they don't care about video games either. They're mainly focusing on creating the terrible gameplay, and they bring in Sweetbaby Inc. to inject the terrible storytelling within it as well. And I think that is the frustrating thing about this. And here's another thing from one of the consultants of Sweetbaby Inc. that is exposing their racism, and they say abort all people that are involved with the situation in Palestine. And this is the frustrating thing, where you see definitively these people have a very racist and discriminatory mindset that is even beyond what they accuse the people that they think have the similar mindset. And I think that is the frustrating thing for the gamers, where we have these people being exposed as being the things they accuse others of being. And that is a shocking thing that a lot of people are realizing about Sweetbaby Inc. And it's being exposed continuously now that we have the Sweetbaby Inc. detector that is growing ceaselessly. But you tell me what you think about the situation. Do you think Sweetbaby Inc. has been exposed? I think so far, yes, the Sweetbaby Inc. detector is growing, and I think more people are aware of it. And I just see mostly a lot of content coming out about them, where everyone is exposing new details, whether it's their connection to Gamergate and Anita Skarshees and all the links they have to these very big developers that are linking them up with clients. This is a growing situation that is going to be exposed even more so in the future. But you leave your thoughts on the situation. Like, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.